first found out that we were contaminated, they denied it. They said that uranium was safe enough to put it on your breakfast cereal and eat it in the morning. Well, my thing was, I told them, you eat some and then I'll eat some. Of course, that never materialized.
We won by talking to the people who are not the usual suspects in the anti-war movement. Laid off workers, homeless people, soup kitchen workers, educators, people who never thought of themselves as anti-war, and we won.
Hello, my name is Stanley Heller. Welcome to The Struggle. The Struggle is shown on 21 cable stations from Vermont to New York City and 24/7 on the internet at thestruggle.org. I watched the president a little while ago in Afghanistan speaking before soldiers, telling them how the entire country was supporting them. Really? Oh yeah, if they come home in one piece, everybody's a hero. But what about the people who are injured? These soldiers have to fight to get proper treatment. Not too long ago, we had news about the campaign of Iraq and Afghan war veterans struggling to keep soldiers with PTSD and other maladies from going back and being redeployed again and again. Today we cover the scandal of the poisoning of our troops by our own depleted uranium weapons and the reluctance of the military to screen for it or treat it. We start the program with an interview with an Iraq war veteran, Herbert Reed, who was stationed near an Iraqi battle area, now is in constant suffering from our use of a nuclear weapon, depleted uranium found in artillery and other ordnance. It is a nuclear weapon. The depleted part of depleted uranium means that the kind of uranium that's used to make atomic explosions has been removed, but the remaining part is still radioactive. DU is used because it's very dense and it's a good way to penetrate armor. DU is harmless, except if the dust gets into your system, and then you're in trouble.
I'm Herbert Reed. I'm a veteran of the Iraq War. I was contaminated with depleted uranium in 2003, and the U.S. government never notified its soldiers that they were utilizing depleted uranium or the harm that it could cause to the environment or the human component there. And when I returned back, they still denied that depleted uranium is harmful to the soldiers. And when first asked if they could test for any depleted uranium in our system, we were told no. But we found that to be a lie in Warren Gonzalez of the Daily News, and the Daily News itself paid for our testing that was done in Frankfurt, Germany. We all tested positive from the 10 of us that were tested from the 442 Military Police Company in Orangeburg, New York. And what we've been trying to do is try to get the United States to stop using depleted uranium, do more testing, and before any more people can be harmed, any more soldiers or any more countries polluted without depleted uranium waste. Depleted uranium has a half-life of 4.5 billion years, about the life of the Earth, and the United States is reluctant to stop using it because it's so successful. It can be put in small arms ammunition like machine gun, helicopter ammunition, or even the big ones, the bunker busters. But when this round is expelled from the weapon, not all of the DU, or depleted uranium rod within that weapon, is expended. It always leaves a small, minute amount of that rod on the battlefield for innocent children like in Iraq, which is their background, and they pick this stuff up and they get contaminated and then they die. I mean, innocent children that were born healthy. Now, since we've been in Iraq since the 1990s, we've dropped over 900 tons of depleted uranium waste into their background. The cancer rate has tripled or quadrupled in Basra, Najaf, and those areas that we have bombed. And the United States is reluctant to give up this information as to the areas that were contaminated. And when we first found out that we were contaminated, they denied it. They said that uranium was safe enough to put it on your breakfast cereal and eat it in the morning. Well, my thing was, I told them, you eat some and then I'll eat some. Of course, that never materialized.
What exactly have been the physical symptoms you suffered that you think are from depleted uranium?
Oh, boy, there's so many. I think the bone aches that I have, the constant chill and heat that I feel in my body, it's like it's going on simultaneously. I can feel cold and hot at the same time. I can feel every bone in my body, it seems, sometimes. The blood in my urine, the blood in my stool. I think it has to do with the herniated discs that I have in my body sometimes, I think. The nerve damage that I have, the respiratory problems that I have. I have to sleep with a CPAP machine at night now, and if I don't get a restful sleep.
You're on disability from the Army?
Yes, I am. At first, the military was reluctant to give me a disability, and I had to hire a lawyer to get what I was entitled to. And now I'm retired at 40% disability from the Army, but the VA has classified me as 100% disabled.
What about the other people in your unit?
Well, there were 10 other soldiers that were tested positive. We have, kind of spread out and lost touch with each other, but I know that some of them were given medical severance pay, and some were given retirement. But the other members of the unit, when we first started reporting this, was reluctant to join forces with us. But I have seen some of them in the hospitals of late, in the VA hospital, trying to get certified as being contaminated with depleted uranium, who have health issues. But because they were reluctant earlier in the process, it's kind of hard to put this information together for them. There is no foundation, so to speak. In order for this type of claim to be made, it had to be made in the beginning, because when you first came back, they had you fill out the survey, and they asked you a whole bunch of questions. Were you ever in a tank that was blown up? Were you ever around any burning fires? And if you answered wrong, they're using this information against these soldiers. So it's kind of hard for them to get a claim together when they have already answered these questions one way.
Do you think the United States should use depleted uranium weapons?
No, I think no country should use depleted uranium weapons. Based on the fact that they say that it's harmless. But there are other countries that have proven that, have scientific proof that uranium weapons are harmful. So we need to stop the use of it and come to a real conclusion as, is it harmful? Is it not harmful to the humans and the environment? And which I think it is. And I think the United States should stop using it, find some other weapon until it's proven either or.
Thank you. On the program today, a protest in Oakland, California of AIPAC, the Israel Can Do No Wrong and Deserves All Our Money lobby. Then Marty Nathan of the Bring the War Dollars Home campaign. Adonier Usmani about the situation in Pakistan. Steve Downs of Project Salam, which deals with what it says is preemptive prosecutions That is, prosecutions and imprisonments of people who the government thinks might do crimes in the future. Finally, an interview with teacher Brian Jones. If you saw our program last week, he was talking about the attacks on public education. This week, we do an interview about his other job, actor in the one-person play Marx in Soho.